and then just jump off headfirst. And by the time they're adults, and whether they're negotiating a raise or even asking someone out on a date, they're habituated to take risk after risk. They're rewarded for it. It's often said in Silicon Valley, no one even takes you seriously unless you've had 2 failed startups. In other words, we're raising our girls to be perfect, and we're raising our boys to be brave. Some people worry about our federal deficit, but I worry about our bravery deficit. Our economy, our society, we're just losing out because we're not raising our girls to be brave. The bravery deficit is why women are underrepresented in STEM, in C-suites, in boardrooms, in Congress, and pretty much everywhere you look. In the 1980s, psychologist Carol Dweck looked at how bright 5th graders handled an assignment that was too difficult for them. She found that bright girls were quick to give up. The higher the IQ, the more likely they were to give up. Bright boys, on the other hand, found the difficult material to be a challenge. They found it energizing. They were more likely to redouble their efforts. What's going on? Well, at the 5th grade level, girls routinely outperform boys in every subject, including math and science. So it's not a question of ability. The difference is in how boys and girls approach a challenge. And it doesn't just end in 5th grade. An HP report found that men will apply for a job if they meet only 60% of the qualifications. But women? Women will apply only if they meet 100% of the qualifications. 100%. This study is usually invoked as evidence that, well, women need a little more confidence. But I think it's evidence that women have been socialized to aspire to perfection, and they're overly cautious. And even when we're ambitious, even when we're leaning in, that socialization of perfection has caused us to take less risks in our careers. And so those 600,000 jobs that are open right now in computing and tech, women are being left behind. And it means our economy is being left behind on all the innovation and problems women would solve if they were socialized to be brave instead of socialized to be perfect. So in 2012, I started a company to teach girls to code. And what I found is that by teaching them to code, I had socialized them to be brave. Coding, it's an endless process of trial and error, of trying to get the right command in the right place, with sometimes just a semicolon making the difference between success and failure. Code breaks, and then it falls apart, and it often takes many, many tries till that magical moment when what you're trying to build comes to life. It requires perseverance. It requires imperfection. We immediately see in our program our girls' fear of not getting it right, of not being perfect. Every Girls Who Code teacher tells me the same story. During the first week, when the girls are learning how to code, a student will call her over and she'll say, "I don't know what code to write." The teacher will look at her screen and she'll see a blank text editor. If she didn't know any better, she'll think that her student spent the past 20 minutes just staring at the screen. But if she presses undo a few times, she'll see that her student wrote code and then deleted it. She tried, she came close, but she didn't get it exactly right. Instead of showing the progress that she made, she rather showed nothing at all. Perfection or bust. It turns out that our girls are really good at coding, but it's not enough just to teach them to code. My friend Lev Bree, who's a professor at the University of Columbia and teaches Intro to Java, tells me about his office hours with computer science students. When the guys are struggling with an assignment, they'll come in and they'll say, "Professor, there's something wrong with my code." The girls will come in and say, "Professor, there's something wrong with me." We have to begin to undo the socialization of perfection, but we gotta combine it with building a sisterhood that lets girls know that they are not alone. Because trying harder is not gonna fix a broken system. I can't tell you how many women tell me, I'm afraid to raise my hand. I'm afraid to ask a question because I don't wanna be the only one who doesn't understand, the only one who's struggling. When we teach girls to be brave and we have a supportive network cheering them on, they will build incredible things. And I see this every day. Take, for instance, 2 of our high school students who built a game called Tampon Run. Yes, Tampon Run. To fight against the menstruation taboo and sexism in gaming. Or the Syrian refugee who dares show her love for her new country by building an app to help Americans get to the polls. Or a 16-year-old girl who built an algorithm to help detect whether a cancer is benign or malignant, in the off chance that she can save her daddy's life because he has cancer. These are just 3 examples of thousands of girls who've been socialized to be imperfect, who've learned to keep trying, who've learned perseverance. And whether they become coders or the next Hillary Clinton or Beyonce, they will not defer their dreams. And those dreams have never been more important for our country. For the American economy, for any economy to grow, to truly innovate, we cannot leave behind half our population. We have to socialize our girls to be comfortable with imperfection, and we gotta do it now.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my time. How you all doing? Can everyone hear me?
Very well.
Yes,
Good
morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay, great. So are we ready for our presentation today?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. How was the fireside chat session in the main room? What did you learn? 2 people, just unmute your mic and speak. You can just raise your hands and then unmute your mic and speak. Okay, Onyinyechi, you can unmute your mic and speak, and Eunice. So we'll just take Onyinyechi and Eunice.
All right. Good morning, server sisters. I learned that things might keep falling apart along the way, but we have to keep moving and we should own up our mistakes. Mistakes will always occur, but we should man it up and keep hopes alive. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Eunice, you can go next.
All right, good morning, everybody. So I also learned that we should be the best version of ourselves. And also we should learn something new every day and find the positives among the negatives all the time. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Eunice. Okay, great. So do we have Ping Intelligence 1 here? Please turn on your camera.
Yes.
Please turn on your camera and you'll be in the spotlights soon. Before we do that, I'll be introducing Judge. Her name is Iretioluwa Akerele. She's also an advisory board member for CyberSafe Foundation. Can we give her a round of applause? A round of applause for our judge. Okay, fantastic. P-Intelligence 1.
We are there.
Okay.
Present.
All right. So where are your team members?
So Stacy, it's Stacy, and can I start the introduction?
Yes, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Ping Intelligence One, we are glad to be here with you. So I'm with my group members, Stacy and Thomason. Today we're going to present how to investigate Windows Management Instrumentation, WMI, backdoor. So like WMI info, it's window management instrumentation. Its purpose is to help the administrators to manage different Windows operational environment, including the systems. So this even though the WMI its importance, sometimes it's used by the threat actors to hide themselves while acting inside the organization. Secondary is the backdoor. Backdoor is an undocumented way of gaining access to a computer system. So this backdoor can be used to steal personal information.
Okay, so I will just continue from where Divine stopped. We are going to be conducting a post-incidence analysis. That's the investigation that we're going to be conducting. And so I hope you can all see my screen. This is the compromised computer. It has been compromised with a WMI. So before we continue, one important thing to note is that a WMI, it has been compromised with a WMI backdoor rather. So one important thing to note is that a WMI backdoor is usually scheduled to run at intervals. So while I'm doing the presentation, it's likely for you to see things pop up once in a while. So the backdoor is also used to introduce some malwares and some Trojans and other harmful attacks to the computer. So to conduct our investigation, I will need some tools. I'm going to need so I'm going to go to the system internal suite. I'm going to need a task scheduler. Just give me a minute. I'm going to need an auto run rather from here. So I've opened the auto run. I'm going to need a process monitor. Process monitor. Okay, I also need, okay, this is the process monitor. I'm going to come here to the start button to open the task scheduler. Then I'm also going to come here to open a process archive. So this is the process archive, this is the task scheduler. Then I need a regedit. So to find my regedit, I need to search for it. So regedit is the register editor. These are the malwares that are popping up that I said the backdoor will introduce. You can see them. So I'll just go back here to search for reg editor. Okay. Then lastly, I need the Loki scanner. Here. So I'm going to open a command window to be able to run the Loki scanner here. I have to open a command window, which I'm doing now. Open the command window and I have to put in a command script. Loki.exec. I'm opening the Loki now because it takes a bit of time to run, so that while I'm doing my presentation, can be running in the background. Desktop. Output. Okay, there's a bit of a mistake here. Okay. Okay, I'm having some issues with my Loki, but meanwhile, I should explain that to conduct the investigation, it's always easier to start with the task scheduler. This is because the task scheduler, the task scheduler provides an automated, it allows the system or the user to automate some task to show up or to execute at specific times. So coming here, and you remember that I said a WMI always executes at specified times. So coming here, it's easy to locate the WMI backdoor and the malwares that have been, and the backdoor that have been compromised. So you can see here, this is Amazon. It is scheduled to operate immediately the system starts up. These are other tasks that have been scheduled to operate at different times, but this is the one that stands out. It is scheduled to operate on this date, and after triggered, it repeats every 2 minutes indefinitely. This is this game over 2 is triggered to operate at this time and repeats every 5 minutes. So I'm going to check the actions. For this one, so this is a PowerShell execute Windows style hidden. This is supposed to execute a blank PowerShell every 2 minutes, and that's why you see the blue thing popping up. It's a blank PowerShell that keeps popping up every 2 minutes. Then this one, CMP mim exec, is supposed to execute a Mimicat. Now a Mimicat is a tool. A Mimicat is used to capture login details. So this command script is instructing the computer to execute a Mimicat and to store it in a temporary file. This is the temporary file here. This is a temporary file. You can see the WMI backdoor here. You can see the WMI backdoor there. You can also see this is like a Trojan, this X command. You can also see the Mimicat that I was referring to here that captures login details and stores it here. So you can see a lot of malwares that are being introduced with the WMI backdoor. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get my Loki scanner to work. But while I'm trying to get it on, my colleague Stacy will.
Thank you, Tommy Singh. Time up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next team, are we ready? So just turn on your camera. Shek and her team.
Hello, we are trying to share it, but I think because she's still sharing hers, we can't share ours.
Yes, so Tommy, please stop sharing your screen.
I think I've stopped now. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes, please, you still are sharing your screen.
Okay. I stopped sharing from my hand. I don't know why. Okay, okay. Thanks.
Okay, so Shek, you're in the spotlights. Are your team members here?
Yes, please, they are.
Okay.
So just Lydia, start.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Lydia, and my team members are Nana, Abna, Irene, Scholastica, and Shek. And together we're Team Incognito Ghana. In our presentation today, we'll be demonstrating how to analyze malware with online sandboxes. We will explain what malware analysis, and sandboxes are. We'll also outline the various tools we'll be using in our analysis. Then we'll demonstrate how our chosen online sandbox analyzes malware. Malware, short for malicious software, is a code or file intentionally designed to affect, explore, steal, or virtually conduct any behaviors an attacker wants on an infected computer system or network. Some types of malware are computerware, computer virus, and Trojans. Malware analysis is the process of determining how a suspicious file or URL behaves and what its goal is. My teammate and Abna will take over from here.
Okay. In cybersecurity, a sandbox is an isolated environment on a network that mimics end user environments. Sandboxes are used to safely observe and analyze a suspicious code or file without risking harm to the host device or network. When a sandbox is used for malware analysis, it provides another layer of protection against security threats. Sandboxes can be online and offline. Some examples of sandboxes are AnyRun Sandbox, Falcon Sandbox, and Geo Sandbox. For our presentation, we will be using AnyRun as our online sandbox. To ensure sandbox security, we decided to implement our online sandbox, that's AnyRun, using virtualization. With this approach, the sandbox is run on a virtual machine. A virtual machine is a computer resource that uses software to simulate a physical computer to run programs to deploy applications. This also provides another layer of protection for our physical device, because if the virtual machine is compromised, it can be rebooted as a new virtual machine. For our demonstration, we will be using an infected file, which is the MEMS virus, an uninfected file, which is a regular Word document, AnyRun as the online sandbox, Oracle Virtual, which is a cross-platform virtualization application. Also, we will run Kali Linux as the operating system on our Oracle Virtual Box, because the virtual machine created will be more secure, as the MEMS virus we will be using in our malware analysis is Windows-based. Irene will continue from here.
Okay, for our presentation, we'll be using AnyRun. AnyRun is an online interactive malware analysis sandbox, which allows users to analyze malware without the risk of compromising their physical device. So we chose AnyRun as our online sandbox because, one, it allows real-time interaction with the environment the malicious files are run in. Two, it allows network tracking. So this platform enables a user to monitor network availability and activities to identify anomalies, including security and operational issues. Three, it allows process monitoring. So this allows a user to monitor the research process and make adjustments when needed. Four, it uses MITRE attack mapping. So MITRE attack stands for MITRE adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge attacks. It reflects the various phases of adversary attack lifestyle and the platform they are known to attack. Lastly, it gives a behavior graph. So a behavior graph is a linked set of data generated from the detective source data that is ingested from one or more web servers. So when an uploaded file is processed on the AnyRun online samples, a Windows virtual machine with an interactive remote desktop is created and the submitted file is executed within it. So Scholastica and Check will demonstrate how the MEMS malware is analyzed on AnyRun online samples.
Okay, to start with our demonstration, we go to the left hand of the AnyRun platform. So this will give you an interface where you see the world map with world map with the various malware analysis that has been run. So for our demonstration and to appreciate this better, we'll be uploading an infected file and then an uninfected file. So we go to new task. New task will open a platform where we'll be able to either export our file or use our URL. So we will be exporting our file and then we'll run a public task. When you run a public task, this mostly takes about 60 seconds or more, but due to time constraints, you're to actually run our task. So this is what you see when you run your task. You can see from the right-hand side that there are no threats detected. Literally, there's nothing going on here. So to appreciate this better, we go to the process graph. So the process graph, if you can see the process graph will show you that when the file was uploaded, it just opened the Windows processor. Now we go to the infected file. So the same process we used for the uninfected file, we use that same process for the infected file. So you go to the process and then you run a task. So when you run a task, a moment, please. Okay, so to appreciate this better, I think my internet is lagging a little bit, but
So unfortunately, our screen for the projection is lagging. But basically, from then we'll see an IOC. Basically, that's the indicator of compromise. So this serves as a forensic evidence that there's actually been an intrusion on the system. So on that, when we ran our file, we realized that there were some suspicious file hashes that were found, some suspicious connections, some suspicious DNS requests, and some suspicious HTTP requests. One cool thing about any run sandbox is that it's able to give you a screenshot view of the analysis you run. So the virus we use is the MEM virus, and it's a Trojan. It's a Trojan malware. One thing it does is that in the beginning, it sends just very few payloads to it. So if from our analysis, we saw that in the beginning, it kept accessing some file called iExplore, right? And at the later part, when the attacks were more, it started sending much more. So there came some errors and some some more files kept opening. And with that, we couldn't access the mouse, and the virtual computer was completely unusable. So from there, there's one cool thing about AnyDesk. You can also access the text report. Basically, what the text report does is it exports information about all the tasks that have been performed in the analysis on an HTML file. On that, we can see the name of the file, basically the location for which you can locate the task on AnyDesk. You can also see the indicators. Basically, when we ran the infected file, we found out that it was actually a malicious file, and we could see some behavioral graphs. We could see some process analysis and all the other details of everything we did on the any run sandbox. So this is the end of our presentation on how to run analysis using malware with online sandboxes. We'd like to thank CyberSafe Foundation, our mentor, Diana Watangi, our coach, Mohammed Okereji, and then our success advisor, Selassie Agbenyo. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you so much. That was a fantastic presentation. Although we had network glitch, but I think you did well. You did well. Okay, great. So you used your time really well, and well done. Okay, so in Code Brigade 2, are we ready? Code Brigade 2.
Is that my fault?
Code Brigade 2. Please, you can mute your mic and have the floor. Code Brigade 2, are you here?
Yeah, here.
Okay, so just let me put you in the spotlights. Abigail, are you presenting?
Yes.
So you know the rules. Turn on your camera, please. Where are the other team members? Okay, so you can start. You can have the floor. Code Brigade 2, you can start your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Oyinda Mola, and right here I have Abigail, I have Maltida, and I have Benita from Code Brigade 2. And our topic is detecting torrent and file using SNOT. So due to the way people share things, due to peer-to-peer sharing of things, so there are ways, there are a lot of traffics that occur. So SNOT will help us to detect intrusion and to prevent some intrusions into our system. So right here, we'll be showing how to do that. Abigail, over to you.
Abigail, you have the floor. Please go on. Abigail, can you hear us? Okay.
Maltida, can you please explain your part while Abigail trying to share a screen, please?
Matilda, we can't hear you. We still cannot hear you. Your time is counting.
Matilda, we can hear you, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Okay, so then I guess I have to start all over again. So our topic is detecting torrents and then files using SNOT. And then first of all, in order to detect all this data network or packets that go to and fro a system to detect the viruses or other unwanted networks, or to check networks that pass through a system, you have to download SNOT. So downloading the SNOT, best to use is having a Linux OS to download. Then you download SNOT on it. So before you download SNOT, after downloading SNOT, you run some packets on it. So there are these commands you have to run on it to configure. One is the libcap. So when SNOT, after you download the SNOT successfully with the libcaps, there are some libraries or directories in which SNOT installs on your system. One is the USR / the bin, and then the SNOT. That's for executing SNOT successfully. And then in order to use SNOT correctly, the network interface code, that is also called the NIC, must be running the promiscuous mode. And then when we talk about a promiscuous mode, that is a mode of operation, as well as it's like a mode of operation, and also it serves as a technique in order to check to and fro of packets, networks in your system. So Abigail would show us how we downloaded the SNOT, and then how we have some libraries and then rules to be able to detect these files and then errors in our system. Can't hear me. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can
Yes,
hear you.
please.
Abigail is not on the call. So can you just proceed, or another team member?
Abigail, the reason why I can share my screen and Matilda can share her screen is we are using a Windows operating system, and because of that, installing Snot is taking time. So we had to use our own since she's using a Linux operating system, and she was able to install, and then we've used a system for it. That's why we're actually waiting for her to actually showcase, to share her screen so that we can actually explain better.
All right, that's fine. So let's give Abigail a few seconds to join back, but she's not in the room at the moment. So let's just wait for Abigail.
We're sorry about that, ma'am. I guess
Okay,
it's
so while we wait for Abigail, I think I'll add a little bit of something. So with a Snot, when you have the Snot installed, and then so basically what a Snot is used for is to detect these torrents and then files and then in your system. So before, you have to just look at how to monitor the intrusion of the attempts. That is what Abigail will show us that when she comes, and then you have to log attempts in your system. And then also you have to know what you are going to do after the system, files or errors have been detected in your system. Because after finding out what the errors are, you are supposed to either change them or
Hello, I can't hear anything. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Matilda, continue. Now, I am showing this because, as I've said before, I'm using a Windows and I couldn't use Snot on my system. I couldn't install successfully on my system. So I have this like a partial Ubuntu on my system that I downloaded through the Microsoft Store. And then it shows here that I have downloaded Snot.
Sorry, Abigail is back.
Okay, all right. Okay,
yes, so Abigail, can you please share your screen? Because you're back to the room. Abigail, if you can hear me, please turn on your camera and share your screen so we can put you in the spotlight. You have 3 more minutes, but I'll give you 2 extra minutes because of Abigail's network glitch. So you have 5 minutes. Abigail, are you having issues sharing your screen? Abigail, can you hear me? The network is really bad. Whew. What's the name of the team? Yeah, Code Brigade 2, do you just want to round up since your colleague is having a hard time sharing her screen? I think, Oyinda, I think you were doing something, so maybe you can just do that so we can just, wrap up and the next people can have their presentation. Oyinda, are you trying to share your screen? Okay, that's fine. So I think you have less than 3 minutes right now. So just try to make it snappy and round up.
For you to successfully use Notes, you have to download Notes, and then you have to install a pickup on your system. Now for the key pickup files, you have to put them in a folder, and then you have to create your own rules for this Notes, because now we have the torrent file, we have the torrent and we have the files. So for torrent or for torrent, you have to use the torrent pickup, and for GIF, you have to use the GIF pickup. So you can use each other interchangeably for each other. You have to stick to the rules. And then you create your own rules, you tell it what to do, and then launch it. Okay. Abigail, can you talk now, please?
She's actually speaking, but her network will not permit. Okay, so your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay, so please, you have to conclude, please.
Yes. You what?
Okay, so we have to conclude everything.
Just conclude because your time is up already.
Okay, so snots can be used for a variety of different things, including packet sniffing, logging, and then detection of intrusion in the network. And then snot is known as a lightweight packet intrusion detection, which means it's being used for just small to medium networks, and then it's easy to be used. So and then it's good for network administrators who handle systems in an organization, the small to medium ones. So.
All right, thank you so much, Code Brigade 2. So Boss Quashes 3, you can have the floor. Grace and Stella, we're waiting for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Grace from Ghana, and I'm in the PLM group, Fast Fashion Studio. I'm here with my partner, Sarah Ngozi from Rwanda. Our open day topic is detecting torrents and files with snots. Before I start with my presentation, we will talk based Snort is a free and open source network-based intrusion and detection and prevention system. Snort was created in 1998 by Martin Roch, a founder and former CTO of Sourcefire. Snort is now developed by Cisco, which purchased Sourcefire in October 7, 2013. Snort has many uses, but I know Snort has the ability to perform real-time traffic analysis and package logging on internet protocol. One purpose of Snort is it monitors the traffic in real time that goes in and out of a network by issuing alerts to users, discovers potentially malicious packets or threats on internet network. Snort was written in C++, that is a programming language, and the latest version of Snort is 3.0. Now, I'll leave to my partner, Stella, to continue from here.
Can you hear me? I'm going to continue from where Grace was. I'll start by showing what you need for Snort installation or to use it. For me, I'm using Windows, so it can both work. It can both work on Kali or any Linux you're using, and also Windows. But it's a bit hectic if you're using Windows. So you need a pickup drive for you to enter the low-level network or to have access to low-level network. As she mentioned, Snort is used to detect or to prevent malicious packets on your network. For me to use time efficiently, I've already installed it. I've done the whole process. What I'm going to do is change directories and then start by detecting an image of the GIF type format. I've already opened my binary directory for Snort. I can print out all the folders or files that I have in there and then explain each one that I require. The first one is the local rules, which I need to create the rules that will help me monitor the network and detect any malicious or any unwanted traffic. These are the rules. The first one is for the image. My action, what I want to do is from any source, any port, any external destination, from any port, the message that I will get is if it gets the image or if it detects the image, the malicious format, it will display the GIF file found. Then the content here, I use the magic number for signature for me to detect PNG. It's like
Hello.
the specific.
You're not sharing your screen. Can you hear me? Stella,
yes.
You're not sharing your screen. I actually thought you were just finding things, but you're not sharing your screen. We can't see anything.
Oh, yeah. Let me try.
All right, thank you.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, let me redo it. Let me try to summarize what I've been doing. I've started by saying that we need rules for us to detect any malicious packet. The rules are here. Like the first one is for the image detection, and the second one is for the torrent. The first one is, the action is to alert from any source of any port to the external source destination of any port. The message will be to find the GIF the GIF image type. And then what I'm using to differentiate it, I'm using the magic numbers or signatures. You can find them on internet. They are available. This one is for the snort identification. For you to create rules, you always have to create also, to give it, to assign it an identification number. It usually starts from a range of 10,000 and up. And then this is the revision number. As any rules, it has like every rule has it's subjected to a revision type of number. It can be revised on the 7 on the first one. For the second one, it's the same also. I want to do the alert type action, but the message here will be to find the torrent. It will check if any of my file has a torrent, then it will detect it. Here on the identification of snort, it's better if you don't have the same numbers, like the identification can't be the same. So from there, I was showing you the binary directory to use. It has the local rules for it to access it. It has the pickup for the GIF. It has also the pickup for torrent. As I mentioned, the pickup is a drive that will help us to log or to monitor or to access low-level network. So the first line of command I'm going to use in detecting the GIF image for us to use less time, I had already created them in my notepad for me to not take a lot of time. Then I will explain them. Here, what it means, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me try to. Yeah. Here, what the command does, it's to use the local rules, but I'm going to use the log monitor. And then open the pic. What I want from this command line, I just want to detect that it has checked for any alert for the specified rule for images of GIF format. Okay, you can see the action statistics, like it has made for alerts for this specific rule. So for us to log these alerts, I'm going to use also another command line, but I can first show you that the log packet for this rule has already been created, which is this one, the recent one. Sorry for the many for the many logs I have, because I've created it many times. So for me to print it or to use it on my console, I'm going to use this command /d for applying or dumping any application layer in this case, and then read and process the dump file that I'm going to use, which is this snot log. The numbers after it are based on the IP. That's how they are assigned, and then they keep changing.
Stella, please start rounding up. It's your time is actually up.
Okay.
Let's conclude. Time is up. So just give your conclusion.
Yeah.
Please, Snot was, before you can use Snot, you have to install Win Pickup, and Snot. For us, we install Snot on Windows. Thank you. And I want to say, use this time to thank our SA Precious and our coach Ademo for helping us today. Thank you.
Okay, so for me to show what I was going to do, I have a video that shows the whole process for time management.
Okay, thank you. Box questions 3, Peak Intelligence 13. Are we ready? So Stella, you can stop sharing your screen now.
Yeah.
Peak Intelligence 13, are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we have Shirley. Okay, so you can go on. You have the floor. Please proceed.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm in Ping Intelligence 10.
Okay. So do we have Tolu Bori on this call?
Yes, I'm on the call. Good morning.
Okay.
Chinada, we can hear you. You can go on. Okay, I think Chinada is frozen, maybe network. So we are Ping Intelligence team, and I have 3 of my team members on the call. We have Kendi on the call. Kendi, we have Hilda on the call, myself, and Chinaza. So our demo is on analyzing jigsaw ransomware. So Chinaza, I don't know if you're back. Chinaza. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. So I'll just run us briefly. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay, so I'll just run briefly the attack pattern. So jigsaw ransomware is a malicious software that hides itself in malicious file attachments. It can come in as a mail, and for example, you're trying to get applications for people applying for a role, and then somebody sends a link as a CV, pretending to be a CV, and then unconsciously you just click on it to just really check the CV. And unknowing to you, you have downloaded the malicious file attachment. So jigsaw ransomware is such that once it downloads through the system, it infiltrates the old files, it encrypts them, and then demands for a ransom to be paid, usually $150 for the decryption key. So it runs such that every time it resets, the timer just increases, it resets every time, and then the price increase every time you try to shut down the system. So it always asks you, you're about to do a bad decision, do you want to go ahead with this? And when you do it, the money increases again and it encrypts much more files. So Hilda will be demonstrating the demo now. Hilda, you have the floor. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So for demonstration of the jigsaw, of investigating jigsaw, we are going to use the volatility workbench and our command line, and we have our memory dump file. So on our command line, we are going to type directorate. So these are all the directorates files in my laptop, and cd desktop. So these are all, okay, so we have brought the desktop. Then we're going to look at all the directorates in the desktop. What we want is the volatility workbench, this one here. Volatility, why are we using the volatility workbench? This is because it's a GUI, that's a graphic user interface, that is used for memory analysis and forensic when extracting artifacts from the memory dump file. So next we are going to call the volatility workbench. Yes, so it brings us to this page where we're going to run our commands. So we need a minute. We need to browse, okay, this one, hide notification. It's not hiding. Okay, good. So we're going to browse the image. So in the volatility workbench, you're going to run the memory dump file. Then we see the executable files. Then we look at the list of the executable files for the malicious file, and as we differentiate it from the other files. So this is our memory dump file, the jigsaw. Open. Then we refresh the process list. This might take up a few minutes. So there are various methods of doing all this. That you can also use the Kali Linux. That way you'll have to create a virtual box if you're using Windows. So that's why we opted to just use our command line. It was an easier choice. So here, if you can see, these are different executable files. There is DLL host, explorer.exe, taskhost.exe. So we're going to pick at random because one of these files is malicious. So let's say we pick on the chrome.exe. So if you type the chrome.exe, okay. Yeah, the chrome.exe. We see that this is just one that supports the download of Chrome. Nothing malicious about it. Then we can go back. I could not copy paste, so that's why I'm doing one by one. We can choose another one, maybe the DLL host.exe. So you come and you type on a web DLL host.exe, enter. We see that it's just a self process created by Microsoft. For last one, we will try out the drpbx.exe. So for that, that search, we see that search, it comes with this dangerous, and it says that it is considered as a threat as it might be a malicious program. So on clicking on this, just a minute, my network is lagging. Yeah, we get this one. Fix immediately, manual removal. Technically, you have two ways. So basically, what you're going to do is that you're going to copy this DM5, and we are going to virus tool. So what's a DM5? A DM5 is used to verify the integrity of files. So we are going to verify the integrity of this file. So we copy this, Control C, then we go to virus total. Then we paste the URL here, Control V, then we search. So on searching, just a minute, we see that 53 out of 71 vendors plus one sandbox flagged that this is a malicious file. So you can see all this. So basically, we have detected the Jigsaw ransomware, and we have gone ahead and proved its integrity, and we've seen that it is a compromised executable file. So that was our presentation. So just
okay,
yeah, thank you.
I'm going to be talking about some of the preventions of Jigsaw ransomware to make sure that anybody doesn't fall victim of the ransomware. First, I'm going to talk about the fact that it's necessary and important to educate people around, and organizations should ensure that they educate their staff members on the potential threats that malicious that links can cause to them. So they should ensure that any link that they get as an attachment in their mail or anything should be verified. And they should also ensure that organizations should also ensure that there are properly configured firewalls, and they should maintain anti-malware software. And they should make sure that the security team is aware of any suspicion from any member of the organization. And they should ensure that there is backup of data as regularly as possible. And then, like as advised, there should be auto updates on softwares to avoid things like this. So that will be the end of our presentation. And I want to thank CyberSafe Foundation for this opportunity. I want to thank my group members. They are the best sisters. I also want to thank my mentor, our mentor, and our coach, Coach Adamu, and our mentor, Chikodi. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so
for
much.
listening.
King Intelligence 13. So well done. You actually did keep the time. Incognito 4, are we ready? Incognito 4, please, if you're ready, just mute your mic. Okay, so we have Mary's. Okay, fantastic. So we have Mary's. So you can just start your introduction as quick as possible.
Good day, everyone. Teaming up for this presentation are myself, Zainab Oladiti.
Myself, Maris Ziana.
And I, Victoria. And together we form the Incognito 4. Our demo topic for today is how to investigate a hacked Windows system using PowerShell. Vic taking us through some introduction.
As I said, our demo topic is investigating a hacked Windows system using PowerShell. PowerShell, and I am going to take us objective, which is to investigate and how the attack system, then 2, any malicious task or file on the system, and lastly, to detect the date the system got compromised. Also, I'll be taking us on some signs of a hacked Windows system, and these signs include frequent pop-ups. So when you put on your system and it automatically tries connecting to an unknown IP address, this could be a sign that your system has been hacked. And another sign is new or strange file desktop. So you put on your device and you see strange files on your desktop, or getting fake warnings asking you to update an antivirus. Right now, into PowerShell. What exactly is PowerShell? A PowerShell is available on Windows 7 and other Microsoft versions. .NET framework. And PowerShell is designed to provide a first-class command line interface and language that is easy to understand and use. It is also a very powerful tool, and this is because an attacker can access Windows features. So lastly, commands used in PowerShell are called CMDlets. They take the various format. So example is get help, get command, get alias, amongst others. So my team member Zainab takes us right into the forensic of our investigation.
Okay, so before we dive right into our practical part, as we can see, our system, the screen is blank. While trying to boot up our device, it was connecting to a particular IP address. While doing our investigation, we might also notice a program keeps popping up. So this shows that our system right now has been hacked. So we need to investigate how our system got hacked using PowerShell. So the first thing we want to do right now is to look at the users we have on our system and the last time they logged on. So we make use of the get local user command, which returns all the users on the system. Then we'll pipe it down, which means filtering it. So we select the name and the last time the users logged onto the system. From the result, we can see the administrator and John were the only 2 people that have logged into the system. So this is an indicator that the attacker made use of one of these 2 accounts to get into our system. The next thing we want to look at is looking at the tasks that are currently on our system, because tasks can also be used to get system to be compromised. The command we'll use for this is get scheduled task, which will list all the tasks on our system, the ones that are running and those that are currently not running. So from the output of our CMDlets, we noticed some tasks have a backward slash as their task path, and this path is unknown, so they look suspicious. The first one is the Amazon, but it is disabled, so it's currently not running. Then the ones the states are ready, so we want to look into this task to see the actions they are running. So for us to do this, we make use of the get scheduled task command. Then we'll specify our task path, which is the backward slash. Then we'll filter it, we'll pipe it down to where the state, which is the state it is right now, equals to ready. Then we'll specify the actions. So this will return information about this task that looks suspicious to us. So from our result, we notice there are some tasks that are in the TMP folder. So this TMP folder, it runs program immediately the system is on. So, and the first one is nc.ps1, which is listening to a port 1348. NC means netcat. It uses TCP, which is transmission control protocol, to send and receive data. So this is an indicator that this particular task is listening to our information that is going out and coming into the system. So this indicates this task is malicious. Then the next file we want to look at is the meme.exe. So we need to investigate these files to know the content that is there. For us to do this, we'll change our directory. When I mean directory, I mean our folder, our location. So we change our directory by using the set location that will specify our temp folder. We want to change our location to the temp folder to investigate the files in there. Now we make use of get child item cmdlet to get all the files in this particular directory. So this cmdlet has returned all the information, all the files that are inside the temp folder. So the one we are interested in is the meme-out.txt file. So to get the information in this file, we'll make use of the get content command that will specify the file, which is meme.out.txt. Yeah, from our output, we can see there is a tool called Mimicat on the screen. So Mimicat is a tool that is used for gathering login credentials, which includes the username and the password. If you scroll down a little bit, we'll see some username and password information stored in this particular file. So this is an indicator that the attacker made use of Mimicat tool to get access to our login credentials, which is the username and password, then get into our system. Now, since we've diagnosed and detect the malicious files and the tools used by the attacker, the next thing we want to do is to detect the date our system got compromised. So we'll make use of the get scheduled task, then we'll specify the path and filter it down to the state that is currently running, which is ready, and specify the date. So from our output, we realized our system, our Windows machine got compromised on the 2nd of March, 2019. My teammate, Ziana, will take it up from here.
Yeah, so from the investigation we just carried out, we can deduce that the attacker gained access into our system using the Windows Explorer. That is from the output we had of the malicious files. After gaining access into the system, the attacker uploaded Mimicat to listen to gain access into the login credentials. After which the attacker logged in and then used install.exe file malware to spawn Powershell into running the nc.ps1 file that you just saw. That is the netcat application that listens to the port 1348 on our system. And all this happened on 3rd February of 2019, as you can see from the dates here. So that is all for our presentation, and we'd like to thank our coach, Mr. Peter Ode, our success advisor, Honor, and the CyberSafe Foundation for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Code Brigade. Sorry, Incognito 4. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Incognito 4, for your fantastic presentation. So our judge will be she'll be coming in soon to give her feedback. Purity, you have the floor. Okay, so while we wait for our judge, do we have Code Brigade Ghana ready?
Yes, please, we are ready.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you can have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So I'll begin. My name is Angela Otu with Code Brigade Ghana, and we would be looking at investigating Microsoft Office macro malware events using Splunk. And these are my teammates.
Good morning, my name is Ayram Deche.
My name is Nana Luwai.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Eunice with Code Brigade Ghana.
And I am Elizabeth Dewona.
Oh, okay. So let's set the scene. We are an IT security team for a Ghanaian bank named Brigade Bank. Our bank was recently in the news for being the best performing bank for the year 2021, as it achieved record-breaking revenues and profits in the entire country. This was reported in the media and resulted in boosting the company's brand and reputation, consequently leading to an increase in business for the bank. The downside, however, was that the publicity also drew the attention of cyber criminals. The bank has just suffered a devastating malware attack, which has led to the corruption of the bank's entire software and files. The information we currently have is that an infected Microsoft macro file was downloaded from email and uploaded to OneDrive. Our bank's preferred security information and event management tool is Splunk. This software works by collecting log and event data generated by an organization's applications, security devices, and host systems, and brings it together into a single centralized platform. This is our investigation process.
The aim of this investigation is to discover the user agent that uploaded the file and the exact documents that contain the malware. We proceed to our search page on Splunk to commence our investigation. It is unclear as to the exact time the event occurred, so we ensure that our time filter is set to all time in order to maximize our results. We are aware that the bank's log file is titled .v3. So we searched through our log file to discover all the events contained in this data set. We use the phrase index because an index is the repository of all the information that is contained in a log file. We also know that a file was uploaded to OneDrive and our source is Microsoft Office. So we add an additional query to our search to streamline the results. This query returns 1,073 events. We want to streamline this to a manageable number. So using the information at our disposal that the file was uploaded to OneDrive, we sort through our interesting fields to see what we can find. We sift through the different fields and then select workload. This field specifies the type of software that was uploaded. Within this field, we see a value titled OneDrive. We select this and add it to our query as it is relevant. This query returns 829 results. This is still too many events to go through. So we go through our interesting field section once more and select operation. Within this field, we discover a file uploaded value. We select this because from the information at our disposal, we know that a file was uploaded. This query returns 7 events. We go through our interesting fields to attempt to narrow down our results even further. In the interesting field section, we select source file extension. we select source file extension. Within this field, the different file extensions for all 7 events are displayed. You observe that all but one of the events have regular looking extensions. We saw PDFs, we saw PPT for PowerPoint, we saw JPEG for pictures. We saw JPEG for pictures. The event that stood out was one with an LNK file extension. We know as IT security officers that an LNK file extension is one that can be used by attackers to perform malicious attacks. We select this event. From the data that is provided, we see that the file name is Bruce Birthday Happy Hour Pics with an LNK extension. We know that pictures usually come with a PNG extension or JPEG extension and not LNK as we see from the event data. It is evident that this is the malicious file that was uploaded. We also want to ascertain the particular user that uploaded this malicious file. We are able to easily discover this as we see the full user agent link in the event data. The information obtained from this user agent link will help identify the particular individual who uploaded the infected file. Now that we have found our user agent and ergo the user, we proceed to find out the exact documents that contained the malware.
Going through this, we are still going to go through our log file, which is in the bots v3 file. And this time our source type is going to be an SMTP file since the file uploaded was an email file. So it's going to go through this protocol. So searching through this event, we have $879 events. So this is still too much. We are going to go through the interesting fields to reduce the number of events we have. Coming through this, we are going to go to attach file name. We are going to bring it here so that we can see. As IT personnel, we are aware that in Microsoft Office, when a macro-enabled document is detected and considered a malware, Microsoft assigns the name malware alert text to the attached file. So we are going to go to attach file name. We are going to see here malware alert text. So with this, we are able to tell that this is the exact file that contains the malware. Going through this, we can see details about the file. We are going to show the raw text so that we can see the exact mail that was sent to the user. So over here, we are going to look through this file. Okay, so going through this file, we see the message that was sent to the exact message that was sent to the user. This is a financial model we can use for FY planning. For the works to operate properly, you will need to enable macros. So over here, you can see that this macros was enabled through social engineering. Going down, we can also see a base 64 encoded message. To decode this message, we are going to copy the base 64 message and decode it. So we are going to copy this message and decode it in a base 64 decoder. I've already opened my base 64 decoder. So I'm going to paste the message here and decode the message. So over here, we can see that malware was detected in one or more attachments included. You can see that Broadly Brief Financial Planning FY 2019 was the exact file that was uploaded. And this is the exact file that contains the malware.
All right, so in this demo walkthrough, we have covered Microsoft Office macro embedded documents with malware and going through all our investigation processes with the log file, bot v3, we discovered the executable file in the email attachment, which was identified as the malware event and how the virus embedded in the macro-enabled document launches itself whenever it's opened, causing damage to the bank's files and softwares. The user agent that uploaded the malicious link onto OneDrive was also discovered. However, with the scenario given and the demo shown, it can be deduced that the Microsoft Office macro malware event can spread in various means. And as the IT security team on this investigation, we advise management on the best practices to undertake in order to prevent such occurrence.
Okay, so the most common methods of spreading macro malware includes sharing of files on a network, opening a file with an email attachment, and also downloading a file via modem or an internet. All these can be prevented by always using a spam filter that will help ensure legit emails. And also, you must also avoid opening suspicious files. And also, you must use powerful security. You must also use powerful security antivirus to help in your system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Code Brigade Ghana. That was a fantastic presentation.
Thank
So
you.
we having our judge. Yes, well done. Well done, everyone from, let me call the first team, from Ping Intelligence 1, Incognito Ghana, Code Brigade 2, Bug Squashes 3, Ping Intelligence 13, Incognito 4, Code Brigade Ghana. Please give yourself a round of applause. It's not easy. You really did well. Thank you. So we'll be having our judge give her feedback in the next 5 minutes. Iriti, please, you have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ireti Oluwa Akirele. I'm sure most people here may probably not know me that much because I've not interacted with you guys. I would like to start by saying well done. I mean, for the efforts that you've put into your various presentations. It's very, very commendable, and it shows that you are interested. You are interested in cybersecurity. I mean, I look forward to what you guys will be doing in the next 6 to 8 months. And I mean, coming out as cybersecurity professionals. Yeah, I would not be able to give a very detailed feedback now because I'm still going to go through all your presentations again individually to get in-depth details into what you've done. But what I just want to say is that preparation is key. If you are coming to present, take it as if you are in a workplace, right? And you want to present in your work environment. I mean, it's very important to prepare. Preparation puts you ahead of other people. So test everything you need to test. I know that this can be 100% perfect, but always make sure that you understand basic things like sharing your screen while presenting, things like ensuring that your network, your mic is audible enough, ensuring that there's coordination between you and your team members. All these are very, very important. And I would like you guys to put that into consideration in your future presentations. These things are very key. And also one very important thing, when you're making technical presentations, always assume that everybody in that room is not as technical as you are. That would help you to break things down to your audience. If you are making a technical presentation, for example, and you're using very technical terms, don't assume that everybody is like your team members that understand those technical terms. It's very easy to say those terms, but you'll find out that there are some people there that have never even heard them before in their lives, and they're just looking at you. So if you don't break it down to them, they become confused. So I'll give you an example. If you're making a presentation to senior management, maybe you're trying to explain a vulnerability within the organization that has been found within the organization. If you are talking about this vulnerability, bear in mind that it's possible that this vulnerability is technical. If you are unable to break that vulnerability down in terms of risk and how it affects that organization, and look at it from the standpoint of what the impact is going to look like and the risk in itself, the senior management you are trying to explain that vulnerability to, they may become very confused and look at you like, so what are you saying? So I want you to look at it from that standpoint and say that when you're making a presentation, when you're using very technical terms, when you're doing very technical presentations, try as much as possible to break it down. If you are using a particular tool, explain in itself what that tool does. If you are running a command, explain what you're trying to achieve with this command. If you are trying to get into a system, explain the impact of what you're trying to do. So those are the things that make up the presentation in itself. I would like to implore you guys that going forward, put this in mind and make sure that you're able to carry your audience along. One thing I found in presentations is that it's very easy to lose your audience. When you present and people seem to be lost, they are just looking at the time for you and they're like, okay, carry on and finish. So try as much as possible to ensure that you carry your audience along when presenting. Ensure that I know this is a bit difficult because it's virtual. It's a different thing entirely when it's physical. You can see those people and you can see how they're taking in your presentation. But as much as possible, make sure that there's a flow. Make sure that you're able to break down these terms and you feel people understand it. And lastly, my last feedback is teamwork is very important. Please, while preparing for your presentations, make sure that you're working with your team. Make sure that the teamwork is very evident. And as much as possible, if you are relying on one person to make a presentation on something, always assume that anything can go wrong. I would like to implore you guys that another person should also have an understanding of that same thing. So that in the case where something goes wrong, right, that person can come up and continue so that there's no break in flow of that presentation. And that is what teamwork is all about. Being able to cover for your team member and making sure that everybody is on the same page. I hope this is going to help you guys in your future presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So please move into your breakout rooms now. Sorry, the main room. Please move to the main room. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you, Ma.
Let's just give a few minutes for our colleagues to join in. Bug Squashes 7, are you ready?
Yes, yes, we are.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. So you can just unmute your mic and you have the floor.
Hello, sisters. Good afternoon. My name is Inomedun Kolawole, and I'm representing Box Squasher 7. And the topic today is how to detect log4j vulnerability using SNOT. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Please
yes. Okay. Like how to detect log4j vulnerability using SNOT. So log4j is actually a Java-based logging utility that logs activities across systems or applications. Activities like maybe requests or error messages or forms or anything really. So it's basically a journal, a big journal for logging of activity. So the activity called logging is used by mostly developers to keep an eye on their systems or their applications that they've logged, to know any new activity or user activities that are there. Then the flaw of log4j is log4j. First of all, log4j is basically found in Java. It's only found in Java systems or applications that use Java. So the flaw of Log4j is actually a very high-profile security vulnerability because it comes with a severity scale of 10/10. This is because billions of people use Java, and when they use Java, they will surely have an Apache Log4j in their system. So it uses a remote code execution that allows hackers to gain total control of the user system. So when the attacker is able to gain total control using remote code execution, the attacker will be able to download or install malware into the victim systems or steal passwords, steal data. They will totally have control to do as they wish in the system. So today we'll be showing you how to detect this flaw using SNOT. SNOT is an intrusion detection system. It's also an intrusion prevention system. So we'll be showing you how to detect log4j vulnerabilities using SNOT. And my fellow sisters in my group, Tabitha Lilongwe and Chimeri Umobodo, be showing us and explaining further information to us. Tabitha, please, you have the floor.
Okay, I am sharing my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, all right, thank you. Just like my colleague has mentioned, Log4j is a logging utility or a logging library. And so it helps with determining what's happening in an application system, as well as to help with the debugging process when errors occur. And one of the most recent vulnerabilities that was discovered in Log4j is Log4Shell. It was made public on the 9th of December in 2021, so that's very recent. And so the Log4j can be found in web services such as Amazon Web Services and Apple iCloud. So the severity of this vulnerability and the people that will be the victims is very huge. And so we are going to be detecting this vulnerability using SNOT. SNOT is an intrusion detection system, or it can also work as an intrusion prevention system. And so it can be downloaded. SNOT can be downloaded from the SNOT website. In this case, we already downloaded our SNOT, and we also downloaded the rules that it works with. So SNOT works with a set of rules, and these rules compare the packets that they have. They compare with any traffic data that's coming onto a network. So if what is coming is not in tandem with what's in the rules, they send an alert to either the users or the system administrators.
So our snort was already installed, and also we installed the rules and did the configuration in the configuration file. So this is our command prompt tab that I have opened now. And so we want to just be sure that snort was already configured. I'm going to run some commands that will help us know that snort was really configured on our system. So this is cd snort. It takes us to the snort folder, and so we want to check what's in the snort is supposed to be in the bin directory, the bin folder. And so to check that, we are going to run the command in snort-v. Okay, so here it's showing our installation, our initialization was complete, and the version that we're using is version 2.9.19. That's a snort version that we're using. And also the rules that we're using for this version of snort are also for 2.9.19. So if by any mistake you use different rules for maybe the snort 3.0 version, you will encounter several errors as you try to install your snort. And so snort works in 3 different modes. It works as a packet sniffer. It can also work as a packet logger, and it can also work as an intrusion detection system. So here it's working as a packet in a packet sniffer. So you can see this is the packets that it's capturing. But also, if we want to show the packet headers, if we want to see the packet headers, we use the command prompt. I'll be adding the command just now. Snort -v-ev-l. Okay, so the packets are coming with headers now, as you can see on the screen. So this is the packet logging system. So the difference between the packet sniffer mode and the packet logging mode is that in this packet logging mode, we can actually save the packets into a folder in our snort folder. We can create a folder in the snort folder, and we can save these packets in there. In this case, a folder was already created. So just to check where the folder is, we use the command dir. And so there's a packet underscore Tabitha. So this is the packet that I created, and this is the packet where this is the folder where most of the packets that are being detected are going to be saved. And so when we want to create a folder, we use the command mkdir. That's a command that we use when we want to create a folder, but the folder was already created, so I think there's no need for that now. And so now when we want to run it into the intrusion detection mode, we first have to get our IP address, and to get our IP address, we use the command ipconfig. Ipconfig is a command that you run when you want to get the IP address of the system. And so in this case, our IP address is here. So I will have to copy this IP address. And then when you want in the command prompt, you just right click and everything has been copied. And when you want to paste, you also just have to right click. And so now we are going to run another command. So the -l just means that we are logging the packets. We want to log the packets into this folder. the folder that we had created, packet underscore Tabitha. Okay, so as you can see here, everything that we have loaded is going into this folder here. So log directory packet Tabitha. So we close this. When closing, you just use Control-C. It doesn't necessarily, the monitor doesn't necessarily close, but we just close this application, this system that was running. And so in the network detection system, you use the command snort -dev-l, and then we use a backslash. And then we have to just paste our IP address. And since we actually want it to be saved in we want it to go directly also into our config file. We're going to enter our config file, which is C-C full colon backslash. Always use backslashes. Backslash snort.config. So if there's an error in our config file, or if there's an error also in our file, it's going to come up and it's going to show. So as you can see here, it's bringing an error. But basically, those are the commands that you run. So the rule of thumb is always when you are downloading Snort and installing it, and also the rules that you're going to install should be for the version that you are working with. Also ensure that your config file is up to date with what's in the rules file. Just do a comparison of everything that you have installed. And also be very case sensitive when you're running your commands, and always use spaces as well. So be case sensitive and space sensitive when you're running your commands in Snort. And my colleague, Chimeri,
okay,
is going
thank you. Box Splashes 7, your time is up. So we have the next team, Ping Intelligence 8. Ping Intelligence 8, please, you can have the floor. Ping Intelligence 8, are we ready?
Yes, we are. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you can just introduce yourself and let us know your
Good afternoon.
topic.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay.
My name is Evie. I'll be working with my colleagues Amarachi and Shorefunmi, and we are working on investigating rebel ransomware with Fire Redline. So basically, what is rebel ransomware? It is a file blocking virus that encrypts data and sends a ransom request.
Abby, are you the one speaking?
Yes, my camera is on.
You just turn on your camera. Okay, that's fine. That's all.
Okay.
So
I hope it's clear.
Yes, it's clear. Go on.
Okay, so what is rebel ransomware? This is a file blocking virus that encrypts data and sends a ransom request message after infection. Basically, where a ransomware is a malware that prevents or limits users from accessing their system till they pay a ransom. Just at the beginning of this year, the cyber criminals, that actually deal with rebel ransomware were arrested. But just last month, it's been seen that they are coming back up, and now it's something that has to be tackled with. So that's why my colleague Amarachi will be taking us through how to investigate this using Redline, which is Redline FireEye, whereby FireEye itself is an intelligence-led security company, whereby they offer FireEye as a security platform for us to investigate this rebel ransomware. Amarachi, I think over next to you.
Hi, Abby. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
So as she said, I'll be showing you how to investigate rebel ransomware with FireEye by FireEye Redline tool. So here on my screen is the Redline tool by FireEye. And Redline provides a lot of templates, timelines you can use to analyze files for malicious activities. And in this analysis, I'll be assuming the role of the incident response team to analyze a system we suspect has been infected with rebel ransomware. And we'll be going with this particular timeline here because I'm investigating a host based on an external investigative lead. So I'll just begin my analysis by clicking on investigate. Okay, right now, what you can see on my screen is the memory dump of the infected system that has been extracted, and we are extracted into the Redline tool. Now, what exactly is a memory dump? A memory dump is like a snapshot of a system's files and processes that has been extracted at a particular time. So now this system, we already suspect that it has been infected with a malware. And we know that most malwares are gotten through file downloads, maybe from a malicious link or maybe a malicious email attachment. So the first thing we are going to do right now is to go to the file download history and see if the user downloaded any files that could have been the malware. So over here, we see two source URLs. This shows that the user downloaded two files. One is WinRAR and the other looks like Tor browser. And the first thing we see about the source URL for WinRAR is that it begins with HTTP, and this is not the secure communication protocol. And whatever files that were downloaded using this HTTP could have been tampered with since they were not encrypted. That is a very huge vulnerability. The second thing we see here is WinRAR was actually downloaded from an IP address instead of the official site. So this software looks very fishy, but let's just take a look at the other one. And we can see that Tor browser was downloaded using HTTPS, so it was secure and encrypted. And it was also downloaded using the official site of Tor browser. So this does not look malicious. So let's head over and find out if this WinRAR is a malware. So to do that, we'll go to the file system using this target directory of users, John Coleman, and downloads. So over here, I'll be heading to the file system. We need users, we need John Coleman, we don't need desktop, just need downloads, okay? And here we can see WinRAR. Now we want to find out if WinRAR is a malware. And to do that, we need to get the MD5 hash. And what exactly is MD5 hash? MD5 is short for message digest. And it's a hashing algorithm that is used to create hashes to check for the data integrity of files. So to get the hash, I'll just tag it and I'll click on show details, and it's going to show me the details of this software. And over here, we can just copy the MD5 hash, and we are going to use this to check the data integrity of this software. And we are going to use we are going to use an online tool known as Virus Total to check it. To just hold on. I'm heading over to Virus Total right now. Okay, so can you see my screen?
No, you have stopped
Hello,
sharing.
can anyone hear me?
We can't see your screen.
All right. I'll just share it again. So I'll head over to Virus Total now. I'm sorry for that delay. So we are going to use Virus Total to check the integrity of the file, and Virus Total is an online tool that we can use to analyze suspicious files and URLs to detect for malware. So I'm just going to input the
Your
MD5
time
hash
is
here.
up. Your time is up. So you just have 30 seconds to round up, please.
Okay, so I just put the MD5 hash, and in here we can see that it recognized the malware, the software as a malware. So I'll just allow my team member Shrefumi to round off.
Okay, thank you very much. So the conclusion of this is that whatever made the file act as weird files that were encrypted was because of what was downloaded through that unsecure site, which was a WinRAR file. And the file was a Trojan pretending to be a legit file. And that was what caused the ransomware on the computer system. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Ping Intelligence 8. Ping Intelligence 7, are you ready? Please have the floor. Well done. Ping Intelligence 7. If you're here, please unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon.
Hi, Victoria. Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Victoria Kundaya from Spring Intelligence 7, and with me is
Emanuela Onowikose.
Okay. So this afternoon we'll be presenting on investigating USB attack with Splunk. And firstly, I would like to give a brief overview of what we're about to do. A USB is a portable device used in storage and is also used to transfer files between devices. And as such, this can be used to spread malware from one device to another device. So this is known as USB attack. And Splunk is an important tool that can be used to investigate such attacks. And we'll be using Splunk to investigate a USB attack on Mallory's MacBook. Mallory is a senior scientist at XYZ Pharmaceuticals, and her lab has just made a groundbreaking research discovery. Details of this discovery have been made into a PowerPoint presentation, which will be presented to potential funders. However, while accessing some files on her device, she discovered that a message popped up for her to send a certain amount of Bitcoin to an untraceable wallet for her to retrieve these documents. She's suspecting that a ransomware from a USB stick of one of our colleagues has caused this attack. So we've been contacted by these pharmaceuticals to help investigate this attack.
Hi, in this presentation, you will understand the power of Splunk in investigating USB attacks. Welcome to the Splunk interface. Here we have what is called the search query. Here we have the time range, and we've clicked all time because we don't know how old this data set is. And here we have the data summary, which includes host, sources, and source types. So for this investigation, we'll be using botv2 data sets. Of course, you can sort your data into different indexes. We'll be using this for this particular investigation. So you might ask why I have put Mallory in this search query, and I will answer you. That is because according to this scenario, Mallory is a keyword. Remember that the USB attacked Mallory's device, and we need to find the encrypted files in Mallory's device, and we need to also find the malware. So this is called, okay, firstly, we have 11,334 events brought back from the search query. And if you look at this place, you see that this is a data log. Mallory has been highlighted in this data log. Everything here is associated with Mallory. Now let's go to this left. This is called a field panel. We have hosts, sources, source types. We have other interesting fields, but this is not what we're looking at today. So let's look at source type. We have PS, DF, and source type indicates what type of data it is. Now, if you look at source, we have PS, DF, when event long security, etc. And then we have the host. Take a look at the host. There's 6 hosts here. There's Venus, Macquarie, Air13, Jupiter, etc. Now, what do you think the name of Mallory's device is going to be? I think it's Macquarie Air13. And that's because it looks like the name of a Mac OS machine. I mean, these are some of the things, and these are some of the initiatives threat intelligence analysts must take while investigating. I no longer need Mallory as my keyword. I now need all the events associated with the host name Macquarie Air13. So I'll remove that. Woof, we have a buttload of data. I'm talking 200,000 data. And we can simply not deal with this because we need to find Mallory, the malware, and we need to find the encrypted file fast. So if you recall the scenario earlier stated, you would know that the encrypted file was a presentation document. And I will now put a PPT or PPTX extension. And you might ask why. And that's because a presentation document always ends with a PPT or PPTX extension. I mean, if I were to be looking for a picture, I would have put a JPEG file or an extension .png, or if it were a movie file, I mean .mkv, but I'm looking for a presentation document. Now, if you look here, take a look at this. You see a star, or what is called a wildcard. Now, whenever a keyword or queries are added to this wildcard, it brings us every single event associated with the keyword or query. Now, we've gotten our event, and this is marvelous. We have 7 events. And this is the beauty of Splunk, because Splunk is able to streamline volumes and volumes of data, and then is able to give you something you can clearly read and understand. Now, stay with me here. We have a source type called PS here, and we have a source type called OS query results, and we have more source types. And I want to give you another advantage of Splunk. Now, different source types are in this data log, and that shows what Splunk can do. Splunk will collect data from multiple sources and give you in a single repository. So here, this appears to be the only event with a PPTX or PPT, which is the only presentation document. Now, let me read it out for you. Fourthly, marketing campaign Q317.pptx.crypts. Now, hold that thought because we'll be coming back. And then here we have fourthly, marketing campaign Q317.pptx without the crypts. Now, what do you think a .crypt extension is? I think it's when a file has been encrypted. So it means that we have 2 files here in this particular event. We have a file that is encrypted, which is the one with the .crypts, and we have a file that is not encrypted.
So right now we know we have information about the malware we are dealing with. We know that it has an extension of .crypt. Next, let's check out if there are other files. So it is not safe to assume that that presentation document is the only encrypted document. Let's check if there are other files within Mallory's MacBook that has been encrypted. We'll be using this .crypt extension to search through all the events and to search through our MacBook to bring, and then we'll get all events with this extension. Wow, now we have a lot of files with this extension. It is safe to say not only the PowerPoint presentation was encrypted, but we have PDF files, we have PowerPoint files, and we have MKV files that has been encrypted with this malware. And with this, we've been able to discover this encrypted malware's encrypted file, and then we have more information on the type of malware we are dealing with.
As threat intelligence analysts using Splunk, we must be ready to analyze threats, detect malicious network activities, and be quick and more accurate when you're responding to threats. Now, on the other side, I think Splunk is a wonderful tool. See this, it allows teams to share data and work together to solve problems. Splunk has the ability to collect, and analyze volumes of data across multiple sources in real time. And I think that makes it a nice tool. I love using Splunk, and I think every cybersecurity analyst should know how to use Splunk. We have come to the end of this presentation from Ping Intelligence 7. My name is Emanuela Onoigose.
And I am Victoria Kundayo.
Thanks to our coach, Oluwatobi, SA Itunu, the lovely audience, CyberSafe Foundation, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ping Intelligence 7. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so, I love this presentation. It was really fantastic. Well done. Well done. Okay, so Ping Intelligence 9, we are waiting for you. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So just your camera, please, so I can add you to the spotlight. Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tolu Anini. I'm a representative member of Ping Intelligence 9, along with Taylor, Imadi, and Gift. Our coach is Coach Peter. Our success advisor is Itinoluwa, and our mentor is Gertrude. Our topic for presentation here is how to use autopsy for forensic analysis on a hard drive. So Grant & Co. companies believe that one of their workers is using their device for personal purposes. And we are well aware that accessing social media on a company's device is out of the company's policy. So they have reached out to my team and I to run an investigation on this. And we are going to be running this investigation using autopsy. And this answers the question, how do we investigate data online? So autopsy is a computer software that analyzes files and open source programs. And it is readily installed on the Linux operating system and is also accessible for download for other operating systems. Yes. So what is forensic analysis? This is just basically the whole investigative process that goes into extracting data from a hard drive. And we will be using NCase to extract this data from Grant & Co.'s database. NCase gives us this extracted data in a .eo1 format. We know that there are several file extensions, the .exe, the .php, the .jpj, which is commonly known for images. But the .eo1 format stores digital evidence in disk, image, memory, and logical files. And so we'll be getting this format in a .eo1 format, which makes it easy for us to analyze using autopsy. So I will be handing over to Taylor to take us through the second process. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are glad to be taking you guys along through this investigation. So just a quick note, we have already loaded or uploaded our NCase file, as she has already explained to you what it is. And also we have run the ingest modules for you. Ingest modules are just what autopsy run on the image to provide us with the data. It makes it easier for us to read and pass data along. So the very first thing that we'll need to find out for investigation is the name of the system that we'll be investigating. So to do that, we'll have to go to the operating system information. We click on it. When we come on our right, we'll see the name, it's here displayed. It's the desktop.or, etc., etc. As you can see, this is the name of our system. The other thing that will help us through the investigation is finding out if the integrity of the file is still intact. So we do that by going up here, we click on the data source, and the Hassan file is the .eo1 is the file that we extracted and we're investigating on. So we click on the file,
And then we scroll down, file metadata. My screen is not clearly showing on the side. However, here underneath, we can see the MD5 file, which proves to us that the integrity of the file is still intact, and now we are reassured. We'll also have to find out the people who access the system for the investigation. We need to know the users or the people who are using the system. We do that by going down. We have the operating user account. We click on it. When we come on the side, here are the usernames, Keshav, Sivapriya, Sandria, and Hassan, and etc., etc. However, we won't pay attention to the administrator, guest, window default, since they are not part of the investigation. We need to focus on the people who were accessing the system, or the employees of the organization. The other thing that will be most useful for the investigation is to find out who actually logged into the system last. And we do that by going to the date accessed on the side. And when we check on the side, we'll see that they all accessed the system on the last day, which is on the same day, the 7th. However, the time will make more sense, just to check that Sivapriya was the last person to access the system around 7 past 12, which makes a lot of difference. So from there, I will hand over to my colleague Imade to further the investigation with us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. As my colleagues have rightly said, Grant & Co company has contracted us to investigate the users of a particular operating system to find out which of the users of this particular account have been using their social media, have been accessing social media using the company's system and network. And so by doing this, we're going to go through, if you check on the left, we're going to go through the web cookie. And if we further expand the web cookie leaves us a trail to see what the users have been doing on the system and on the network. And so if we check on the web cookie and we scroll further down, we would see that the users of this operating system have actually accessed YouTube. If you scroll further down, we would also see that they have also accessed Instagram using this company's operating system and the network. And if we also go to the web history on the left-hand side, we would also get more information as to the time that the user accessed Instagram and as to the firewalls that was actually used. So if we click on Instagram here, if we click on Instagram and we expand it and we scroll down, we would see the time that it was accessed, and we would also see that it was fireworks that was used to access this particular site. So with this information, it's safe for us to give our client who has contracted us for this job a feedback to say that certain users of the organization have actually been using the system's network for personal use. So at this point, I'll hand it over to Gift, who would be giving us a generated report and giving us a breakdown that will be given to our clients. Thank you.
All right. So still making progress in our investigation. And at this point, we are almost wrapping up. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. So now we are at the point of generating a report. However, we have established that someone or some users have actually accessed personal stores using the company computer. So now we are going to generate a report to further buttress our investigation. Now this report will be generated using the HTML format because it's easy to read. As you can see, we are generating it on the screen. So now this report, we are going to attach it as an index in the original report we'll be sending to our client. So our report is still coming up. Okay. All right, our report is here. So this report now, we'll attach it as an index to the original report, and then this gives us a go-ahead to inform our client, the Grant & Co company, that someone actually defaulted the company's policy by accessing personal stores like the YouTube, Instagram accounts using their company's computer. It's been an awesome learning experience. We are grateful and we are saying thank you to the CyberSafe Foundation. We are saying thank you to our Coach Peter, to our SA, to our mentor, and to everyone. Thank you very much for listening. Do have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ping Intelligence 9. Well done. That was a very good time management that you put up there. Okay, so Ping Intelligence 10, are we ready?
Yes, we are.
If you're ready, please turn on your camera, mute your mic, and you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good day, judges. Good day, sisters. All protocols duly observed. My name is Alero Mugwe-Tere, and I'm a member of Ping Intelligence 10. And with me are my sisters, Shirley Wanyoni from Kenya and Hikma Taiwo from Nigeria. We are HSA, an independent IT security outfit, and we'll be showing you how to investigate AWS cloud events using Splunk. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. We were contacted by P10 Stock Exchange to investigate a data breach that occurred in their AWS environment. We've already downloaded the Splunk environment and we would get right into the investigation. Thank you.
Okay, hello, I'm Shirley Wanyoni from Kenya. Based on the information given to us, there was a social media frenzy that P10 Stock Exchange had two companies drastically gain and lose in the buying and selling of shares. So Get the Bag company had a sudden spike as investors were rushing in to buy their shares, while Manifest company was losing out on its investors as they were selling out and dropping out. So this happened within 4 hours of the same day, and P10 Stock Exchange called upon us to investigate this abnormal incident as it was just between the two companies. So after investigation on social media, we found out the source of the frenzy was a screenshot, which had sensitive research data done by P10 Stock Exchange. And this was a side-by-side analysis of both companies and their projections in the future. So now this research data was only stored in their S3 buckets. S3 means simple storage services, and it's offered by AWS. So we came to the conclusion that an S3 bucket had been publicly accessible because this screenshot could have not gotten out there without public access. So now we want to investigate using Splunk, and this is the Splunk environment here. The box that you see is a query box where we will search, and it will help us with our steps in the investigation. So the filter we will change to all time to avoid the restrictions in our search, in our search results. So now, first and foremost, we wanted to start investigation by finding out the event ID of the API call that made the S3 bucket publicly accessible. So we shall begin with the index bots v3. Our source type will be AWS CloudTrail. CloudTrail because it monitors and records all activities within AWS. And we are trying to find out who was behind making this S3 bucket publicly accessible. So when we search, our search results are still too many. We are looking for one event ID. So these are 493. We go down to the interesting fields and we look for event type. As we can see, there are two of them, and we are looking for the API call that made this S3 bucket publicly accessible. So we will pick on AWS API call. It will show up in the query box. An API call is a message sent to the web server requesting an API for information. Yes, our results are still too many, so we need to narrow down our search. We shall go down again to the interesting field and look for event name. Event name, there are over 100, so we need to go back to the query box, type in event name, and put in put bucket ACL. The reason why we're using put bucket, it shows us put bucket sets permission on existing buckets using access control lists. So we want to find out whether the person who made this possible was authorized. Okay, the events have come out to be 2. We shall sort them in reverse order to find from the newest to the oldest, because this is a recent event. Great, so the first result here, this is our event ID. Now we want to find out the username of the person who made the S3 bucket publicly accessible. We shall come and expand the raw text. Yes, so now why are we using username instead of a simple name? We can share names, they are common, but a username is unique to every user in a system. So yes, username here is bstall. So that is the name of the person who made the S3 bucket publicly accessible. And then again, we want to investigate the name of the bucket, the S3 bucket that was made publicly accessible, so we can reverse the damage. The bucket name here is Frothly Web Code. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shirley. So we also wanted to be sure that the person that hacked into this, that there was not another hacker that was in the system again. We wanted to be sure that the people that were the authorized users are still the authorized users. We will still be using index bots v3 and source type as AWS CloudTrail. However, for us to find out the users, we would type IAM user. IAM is just a short form for identity and access management. It helps us to, it's an entity that is created in the AWS environment to show us the person that is, to show us the users in the environment. So when we click on the enter key, we would now scroll down to the users under interesting fields. And when we get to the interesting fields, we'll see users as 4. The value there is 4. When we click on it, we'll see some values. However, we want it to be in a tabular form so that we would send a correct report. So when we scroll back up in the query box, we get to the next line and we type in DDoP user because we want to remove every duplicate of the values. Then we go to the next line and we type in table user. So we get it in a table form. And when we click enter, we would see it in a table form. Now you're going to see the names of the users, the user names, bstall, Splunk Access, Bitstone, and WebAdmin. So it means that because it correlates to our report, it means that the authorized people are still the authorized people to use the AWS environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Alero. I'm Tawe Ikmat from Nigeria. When a company experiences a data breach, it simply means that the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of such data has been compromised. In other words, it simply means that information can be accessed and modified by unauthorized access. Data is one of the most important assets that a company has, and for this reason, it requires a top level of protection. However, there are various measures of protecting data, one of which is security information and events management, which is often abbreviated as SIEM. SIEM is a software solution that provides a central location to collect and analyze log data from multiple sources. When I mean multiple sources, I mean data from applications, servers, firewall, and many others. It collects data from multiple sources within an environment. A simple example of this is when my fellow sisters from Pink Intelligence made a demonstration with Splunk trying to investigate a USB attack. Splunk simply collects data from diverse sources and locates it in a single and stores them in a single location. There are different capabilities of SIEM, which includes threat detection, time to respond, and investigation. In our proud demonstration, we use Splunk to investigate the activities that are taken by users in AWS. We're also able to use Splunk to gain deeper visibility into the physical and virtual IT infrastructure within the environment. Splunk can also fasten investigation processes. Another benefit of Splunk is it enables security teams such as ours, which is HSA security team,
to quickly detect and respond to internal and external threats before they have the chance to disrupt business operation. Other benefits of Splunk includes intelligence insights, security monitoring, and it improves the security operations of an organization. We would like to give a very big thank you to our coach, Mr. Ernest Oluwatobi Ernest, for being an amazing coach, and our success advisor, Ms. Itunu Oloa, for our frequent words of encouragement, as well as our mentor, Mrs. Fumito Adeleye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ping Intelligence 10. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can
hear
you.
Yes,
we can
hear
Okay,
Yes.
all right, fantastic. So thank you so much, well done. I like the fact that you had to, relate what you're doing to what your colleagues had earlier done. Well done, Ping Intelligence 10. So do we have Ping Intelligence 11 ready for their presentation?
Yes, we're ready.
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you have the floor.
Good afternoon, CS. Good afternoon, judges. Good afternoon, fellow CyberGirls. My name is Mirabel Ephraim, and with me here today are
Mary Ann Wago,
Gabriela Madombe,
Sylvia Kamau, and we are Ping Intelligence 11. We are super excited to be here today.
Woo! Open day!
Our topic for today is how to perform mobile forensics on Android. Sylvia will be taking us through mobile forensics. Sylvia, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Mirabel. First, let's look at some scenarios, shall we? A bomb attempt avoided in New York City, an employee's plan to sell trade secrets sniffed out, and a criminal mastermind tracked down and eliminated. So what do you think these incidences have in common? Mobile forensics, that's the answer. In each case, for law enforcement, for a business, or for the military, we use mobile forensics aided in an important investigation or mission. But what exactly is mobile forensics? It is the science of recovering digital evidence from a mobile device under forensically sound conditions using acceptable methods. Other cases in which forensics can be used include homicide, narcotics, harassment, such as cyberbullying, and intelligence gathering. There are so many of them, we can't list them all. When it comes to the artifacts that can be recovered from this, we get photographs, emails, call logs, text messages, internet history, and so much more. Before conducting any analysis, some steps are taken. First, you make sure that the mobile device is isolated from any network. Why? This prevents the data from being erased and avoids any new activity that could override the existing data, thus protecting the integrity of the data. You can do this by removing the SIM card, switching to airplane mode, or using a jammer. The second step we use is you should have a chain of custody. What is a chain of custody? It's a document it is a document to maintain each record of the digital evidence, from the collection to the presentation. It includes details such as the serial number, the case number, the locker number, investigator's name, time and date during each step, and details of the evidence transportation. It's a very crucial process because it keeps tracks of the digital evidence. With that in mind, let's go to the next step. Gabby, over to you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Mary Ann and I will have the pleasure of showing you how to perform mobile forensics on Android. The tool that we will be using to perform our forensics is called Andrella. We are using Git Bash. Git Bash is Git Bash being born again shell. A shell is a terminal application that is used to interface
with an operating system through written commands, and Git bash can only be used by Windows. So now we are using our tool Andrilla, and Andrilla is saved in Mary Ann's downloads. That is why she changed directory. Now we're going to input a command to quick start Andrilla. And that command is Python -m Andrilla. Now, this is what your Andrilla will look like once it starts running. The first thing you have to do is connect your phone to your laptop using a USB data cable. And then once you connect it, you must put it in PTP mode, which is photo transfer protocol, or you can put it in transfer files. Now you go back to your Andrilla and you press output. This is because you need to create you need to have a folder for all your extractions and your artifacts. And it is highly recommended that you create your own folder. And Mary Ann here has created a folder called Android Forensics. And this is the folder where all of her extracted artifacts are going to go. Right. Now you have to press check to see if Andrilla can detect your phone. Yay, and Andrilla detects a phone because we can see a serial ID. In order for Andrilla to detect your phone, you have to enable developer mode. And to enable developer mode, you have to go to your phone settings, type about phone, and press build number multiple times until you see a pop-up that says you are now a developer. And then afterwards, you have to go and type in developer options and switch on developer options. And then lastly, switch on USB debugging. Now, Mary Ann, I wonder, what will happen if I press extract?
Thank you, Gabriela. Standing on the existing protocol, good afternoon, everyone. So when I do click on extract, a pop-up comes up on my screen that requires me first to unlock the Android device. So I'll just quickly unlock my device. So when I do that, there are two options here. The first one says do not backup, and the second one says back up my data. Now it is highly recommended to back up your data. When you back up, it provides you the original copy of the data. It is very risky to perform forensics without backup. However, due to time limitation, I and my teammates have decided to go with do not backup option.
Now, Mary Ann, let's say if we did have the time, what would it look like if you pressed back up my data?
Okay. So when you do click on back up my data, it takes you to a page that looks like this. Now you can see Andrilla is reading information, acquiring data, extracting data from source, and unpacking backup. Now, depending on the size of your file system, this is going to take a while. The larger your file system, the longer time this process will take. And because I have lots of data on this phone, it's going to take so much time. And since we don't have such a time, we decided to just go with the option of do not backup. So I'll just continue. So when I click on do not backup option, what Andrilla does is it will extract all the data on the Android device. And yes, it's giving me here Andrilla report. Now, this report shows you vital information on the Android device. Now here you can see the serial number, you can see local time, you can see device time, you can see accounts. Yes, you can see the different accounts that have been logged on using this device. All these are artifacts. You may be wondering what is artifacts. Now, artifacts are pieces of data that serve as good information that are useful in regards to digital crime. Now, for example, let's say this Android device was used to commit a crime. We just performed forensics on it, and it's giving us this different accounts. Now, if any account here is affiliated with a crime, this is evidence that can be used by the forensic team for reanalysis. Now, over to you, Mirabel, as we round off this section. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary Ann. Okay, so as we can see, Andrella can be used to extract data from a mobile device. Now, with the paid version of Andrella, we can actually see even more data. You can see things like the password, the GPS location, etc. There are some limitations that are associated with mobile forensics. And these things can make it invalid. Number one, we have the software and hardware variation. This means that due to the variety of software and hardwares that we have, we could end up being unable to retain original data in its original state. And this compromises the integrity of the data. We also have password protection. When there is a password protection on a device, it means that we have to first of all look for a password cracking tool before we can perform mobile forensics on that device. This can take time and it's expensive. We have other limitations like wiping of the phone and resetting of data. We also have altering of data and so many more. Thank you so much for staying with us up to this point, everyone. Special thank you to CS. Thank you to our success advisor. Thank you to our judges and my cyber girls. I really appreciate you guys. You made the learning process very interesting. We are cyber girls, being intelligent 11.
Yay! Well done. That was really nice. And you actually did keep the time. Well done, Ping Intelligence 11. Well done. Okay, so do we have Ping Intelligence 12? Are they ready? Ping Intelligence 12, are you ready for your presentation?
Yes, we are.
We're happy for today. Wow. You actually did keep the time. Okay, so you can just unmute your mic and speak. Yes.
Okay,
Unmute your mic and speak.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Enobanisik from Nigeria, and I'm here with my teammates, Ganiyat from Ghana and Nelly from Kenya. We've been hired by a company known as Breakout to investigate some anomalies happening on their website. After a series of investigation with a tool called Splunk, Splunk is used to monitor and collect logs, analyze machine-generated data via a web-style interface, as you can see, in real time. From the investigation done so far, we've been able to narrow down a suspect to 2 of their employees. These suspects are trying to carry out an SQL and cross-site attack on the website. So I'm going to show you why we have a first suspect on the list. Her name is Amber. We're going to go through the app she has on her system. So we run the search query. This is calling Amber for us to see what she has on her system. We'll click on source type. And then we'll click on the file sysmon. So while we wait for it to load. Then scrolling down, we'll see our apps. She has 25 apps downloaded on her system. From here, we can see Chrome, we can see Firefox, and we can also see Tor browser. A Tor browser is used to access the dark web. So right there, we can see that she has been doing something shady with her office system. I'm also going to go ahead and show you the public IP address of the server running Brewatalk company website. So we are going to run a search query with the index, and then we'll type in brewatalk.com. When we run this query, we'll get results, then we have to go down and look for destination IP. That's what we are looking for, the destination IP address. Okay, we have a result here. We've seen some few IP addresses here. The first two IP address here is an internal IP address, so definitely that's not what we are looking for. But the third IP address here, the 552.42.208.228, right there is the public address of the server that is running the company's website. We're also going to go ahead and show you the IP address that is being used to run a vulnerability scan against Breakout websites.
My name is Ganiat. I'll take you through the SQL injection. SQL is known as Structured Query Language. It's a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to the database. Examples of SQL injections are retrieving the hidden data and subverting application logic. So I'm going to give you an example of, as my colleague said, we're going to run a web vulnerability scan against www.breakout.com. So the queries are index equals box v2 breakout.com, the source type, and we run the search. So supposed to click on the source type, then stream I. We have a lot of fields, interesting fields, but we have to click on the source IP. So the highest hit count is 8,966. This gives us the first value to be our IP address. Our next search is going to be to find the URL path of the private IP address used. So our query is going to be index equals to bus here, so the string type. So once we wait for the, okay, so we click on the URL part since that's what we need. Kindly scroll down. So,
I mean, it's not moving. Yeah.
okay. So we realize that the highest count is 598. So that gives us the URL path to be /member.php because it has the highest value. So my next, Nelly will take it from there.
Hello, everyone. It's awesome to meet all of you. And as the last group, we have all the pressure. But anyway, I'll take you now through. Okay, so now from the member IP address, we can further investigate the URL and see the type of attack that was the SQL query. Index.bot v2, that's the database. Breakout, that's the company. Then the source type will be a stream.http because it's an online attack. And then we will now go ahead and put in the source. The one that had been displayed earlier, it was 45.77.65.211. And then the URL that has just been displayed, we want to see what is happening. So it should bring some events, but it seems it's hanging today. Yeah, so let me see if it will agree again, if I key in again. Okay. So we'll just scroll down from the results to just click on the interesting fields because this is where the query is displayed at the bottom of the screen. Okay, it's not moving. Yeah. Okay, it's moving slowly. Okay. Okay, we'll try typing in the query again because the scrolling is not working.
Okay, can you try that one last time? Because your time is up. So just give you like 1 minute so you can round up. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let me try it again. Yeah, that's the path. Anyway, basically, it's supposed to give us the query of what attacks was being used, and the results it's supposed to give us. Oh yeah, it has come finally. We'll just tabulate because you're seeing the results are 11,082, and that is too much. So what we'll do, we'll just tabulate it to see in a table format, which is much more clearer. And I'll use the dedup command just to remove repetitive data because sometimes data repeats itself. So
Intelligence, can you just round up, please?
Yeah.
Time is fast spent.
So the data will come in a tabulated format, and you'll see that the result here, down here, the SQL command that was used for the injection, it was update XML. That is what was used to attack the website. And for that, we are grateful for this opportunity. We are grateful for our coaches. We are grateful to our mentor, our success advisor, and CyberSafe for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done. Can we all give ourselves a round of applause from the first set of themes that presented to the last? You give yourself a round of applause. Well done. You all did amazing. So our judge is still here. She's going to give her feedback. So Ireti, you can have the floor. Well done, everyone.
Okay, I'm back again. So before I give the feedback this time around, I just want to make this a little bit interactive. So I'll start by asking, and anyone can answer, right? I would like to know, what has this thing taught you in terms of your soft skills? What have you gained from the perspective of soft skills? I mean, being part of it, working in a team, trying to get people together, ensuring that your presentation works and all of that. Go ahead, please.
Hello. I learned my teammates, Ping Intelligence 11. I learned that if you want to get something done, you have to voice out your opinion, voice out your ideas, because if you don't, you always kind of feel that what if feeling. I also learned that you communicate better the more you know each other. We communicated a lot better with our last meeting than we ever did before, because we now knew each other, we gave each other nicknames, and we were just all very excited to show you guys what we can do. So I feel like that's why we communicated better.
Okay, let me just quickly address that before the next person comes up. Communication is very important. I mean, if you are very great in cybersecurity professional, great hacker, you are that person that is always breaking into things. You are very good, very excellent auditor, very great threat intelligence analyst, forensic analyst, malware analyst, incident responder. You can do all of these things, but you can't communicate. I can tell you for free that you will probably not go really far in the field. That's the truth. So communication is very, very important. How do you communicate within your team? How do you pass your message across? How do you communicate to the top management? How do you pass your findings? How do you ensure that there's no issues? How do you manage issues and handle issues? So I mean, communication is very important, and I really like that point. So the next person can take the floor.
Thank you very much, Ma. I learned 3 things that were really key to me. So the first one is teamwork, the second is communication, and the third is self-leadership. So we're able to work together as a team from the beginning, from when we knew we were going to have our open day. We were always checking up on ourselves. We had a daily routine, 3 p.m. every day. We're always online. We're always doing preparation for open day. Then communication, we're able to say, okay, this is where I am, this is my weakness, and we're able to help ourselves. And self-leadership, because we're able to take responsibilities for everything that we did, for our actions. If we're not available, we said why, we're accountable to ourselves. And that's just been amazing for me. I have the best sisters ever.
I like that. So well done to you guys. I would say I'll just pick on the point self-leadership. In this field, you must be ready to take responsibilities. You must be accountable for your actions. Forget the fact that you are working in a team. Eventually, it still boils down to the individual. So you must be ready to be accountable for your actions. You must you must present yourself properly. So I like what you said, self-leadership, taking actions, taking responsibilities. I mean, it's very good. And I like the fact that what CyberSafe is giving you is not just a technical aspect of cybersecurity, because if you want to be successful in this field, your soft skills are equally important. And I like to hammer on this a lot, especially as part of feedback, because I don't want people that will just concentrate on being very good, sound, technical. But when it comes to soft skills, I mean, you can't find them. You have to be an all-rounder to be very good in this cybersecurity field. So I like what you guys are saying today. And I like how she also mentioned communication again. Never forget that one of the top soft skills in cybersecurity is communication. You must be very good. You must be able to present your thoughts. You must know how to communicate. You must know how to handle issues. I will give you an example. When I started my career, I worked in an organization where part of what I was doing was to be resolving conflicts, because two people within the team were not in the same direction. So I had to also think about how to resolve conflicts as part of my work. If I wasn't very great with communication, I would have probably broken down and not be able to handle some of those things. So, I mean, my communication skills had to come to play. I had to communicate with the first person, communicate with the second person, and think about how best to resolve that kind of a conflict. So take it from me that as part of your technical skills, you need to also continue to develop your soft skills. So I'll take one more person, and then we move on to the feedback.
Okay, mine is just to add on what has already been said. What I've learned is to do something best, it's better to do it as a team. The aspect of collaboration, the aspect of sacrifice, getting together to share knowledge is very important. It's very essential for success. Yes.
I like that. Collaboration is also another very key skill that you must put into play in cybersecurity, or indeed in any field you find yourself. I mean, no man is an island, you can't work alone. You find that you have more strength if you are working as a team. Unlike imagine if the task you are given today to come present, imagine if you are presenting it all by yourself. I mean, there's a difference, but because you're doing it as a team, everybody's contribution counts, everybody's support counts. The perspective everybody would bring into it, I mean, is what makes the difference. So collaboration is very important. And this is exactly what you would see in a real life workplace. I've been doing cybersecurity now for 7 years plus. And one thing I know for sure is that you would always collaborate. Even within the organization, as a cybersecurity specialist, you will be speaking with people from the business. You'll be speaking with people from IT. You speak with people from service management or customer care and other areas like that. So you must be able to collaborate, work with people. You'll be put in projects to work on projects with other team members. How are you able to bring in your strengths and collaborate with other people? So I mean, that's very key, and I like that response. So thank you guys for this response. I really appreciate it. So back to the feedback. So as not to repeat myself, I'm just going to talk about one very key and important feedback, which I think you need to take into consideration for other presentations and real work environments. This time around, I'll be talking about time management. If you are given a presentation for 10 minutes, as much as possible, please rehearse before you come and time yourselves. If there are no network issues or glitch, do not exceed 10 minutes. At best, by the time you get to your 90 minutes, ensure that you are already giving your conclusion and you're rounding up. Here is the reason. Assume that this is a workplace and they say, let me just mention someone's name, for example. They say, Mirabel, for example, Mirabel, let's go for a presentation, and you are leading this presentation on the client's organization. You get to that organization and you tell them that I'm only going to be presenting for 10 minutes. I can assure you that the moment you get to 11 or 12 minutes, you started losing your audience, because people are already checking time for you. That's what's happening, but you only said 10 minutes. You've lost your audience. Nobody is concentrating again. They are no longer interested in what you have to say. After that, because possibly they've also scheduled their time for other things and they've already added at the back of their mind that this is only going to run for 10 minutes. So I mean, time management is very critical. I understand that you would like to manage the technicalities and break it down properly. I understand that before you switch from one person to another, you would also need to manage that time. But I can assure you that you can do it. You can present within your time frame. I mean, all you need to do is prepare beforehand, rehearse with everyone within the team, and ensure that everyone is being timed. What is the worst case scenario? Put a plus or minus. So what I always do is, if I have a presentation, I put like, what's the worst case? If I say, I want to run through maybe 10 to 15 slides, for example, for 10 minutes. If I can run through this slide while preparing myself for 7 minutes, I know that on a worst case, I would not pass 9 minutes when I'm presenting it live. So these are the kind of things that you need to do to be able to manage your time, because these are the exact same things that apply in a work environment. For people like us that have worked in different work environments, I can tell you that time is very important. It is very critical and they take it seriously. I try as much as possible to tell people, especially people that are coming up in this field, don't lose your audience while presenting. One of the ways by which you can easily lose your audience is if you do not keep to time. You would lose your audience. Another way by which you can lose your audience is if you are, like I said in the first feedback I gave, if you are not giving, if you are not breaking down those concepts, if they don't understand what you are saying, if it's jargons to them, people will just be pressing their phone. Do you want to be in a presentation whereby everyone is on their phone? They're checking WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and I mean, they're not even listening to you because they're like, what's she trying to say? We don't understand what she's saying. So it's very important that you understand the things around not losing your audience when you're presenting. Break down your terms as much as you can. When you say malware, for example, when you say ransomware, as a normal user, I may not understand what a ransomware is, but you know it because I'm a technical person. I may not understand what a malware is. Maybe I've heard people say malware, but I don't even know what it is. I may not know what snot is. I mean, I've heard about it, but I don't even know what it is, what it's used for, and all that. So how are you breaking down those terms so that people understand in clear terms what it is? I may not know what a vulnerability is. Maybe I've just heard people say vulnerability here and there, but I don't know what it is. Are you able to break down those terms comfortably so that somebody that doesn't know what it is can actually pick it? So, I mean, these are critical feedback that I would like you guys to take seriously. One, for the purpose of subsequent open days. Two, for the purpose of the fact that when you leave this training program, we are preparing you for the workplace. We are preparing you for cybersecurity positions, and you will find all of this feedback very relevant. So I want you to take it seriously and ensure that you keep to it. Thank you very much. I will just, if you have any question, maybe 1 or 2 questions, I can take that. Is there any question before I pass it back to Divine? Okay, I think we're all good then. Okay, so Divine, you can have the floor. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much for that feedback, Ireti. Thank you so much. I see your colleagues joining the main room. So we're done with the open day for the month of May. Congratulations, CyberGirls. You all did amazing. Please give yourselves a round of applause once again. Congratulations. You all did fantastic. A lot of you actually did manage your time well, and I give you kudos for that. Thank you once again, Mama. Thank you for your feedback. We really appreciate it. And now please ensure that this feedback, that you take it and put it into work. The next time you're coming for your open day, bring in your A game. I know you did well today, but we know you can actually do much more better. All right, thank you everyone. Admin, please share the link to the main room. Yes, okay, so the admin has shared the link, so you can all move to the main room. Bye. See you in 2 months' time. Bye, everyone.